Hi everybody, welcome to the Actors Academy. Thank you for tuning in today. Today we're talking about public speaking and presentation skills. This is part 2 of the 5-part series that we have. So today what we're going to be focusing on is confidence, because confidence is a big element of giving a speech, of talking and publicly speaking to your audience. If you don't have confidence, it's much harder to convey your stories, especially if you're trying to convince people of a certain point. If you don't have confidence, people are not going to buy into your story. I've seen people who have had terrible stories before, but they spoke it with great confidence, that people believed them and said, oh, okay, that was great, that was amazing. I've heard other people who made much more logical points, but they weren't very confident in their speech when they were talking, so then not a lot of people wanted to be on their side. They didn't necessarily believe that person's points as much as they would with someone who had more confidence. So confidence is a very important element of public speaking when you're giving speeches and you're talking to people. Now, here's the thing with confidence. Confidence, like public speaking, is also a skill. It's a skill that can be learned, it's a skill that can be developed. But like any other skill, it takes time. It takes commitment to work on and develop. It'd be basically like saying, hey, if you wanted to be great at basketball and you have a basketball game tomorrow or next week, well, you're not going to be a great basketball player if you've never played before. You know, I can teach you how to hold the ball, how to shoot the ball, how to move around with the ball a little bit, but still, come tomorrow, come next week, you're not going to be able to play the game like you would like. It's the same with confidence. Confidence takes time to develop. You can't just get amazing confidence in one day. You can't get amazing confidence in next week. Now, there are things that you can do to help improve your confidence, but in that time span, it's very hard. So instead of working on developing confidence, which I've talked about in previous videos before, that takes time. That takes time and effort and commitment. You may not have that time. So what we're going to focus on is the appearance of confidence, and that you can do in an instant. How to appear confident, how to appear more confident when you're telling your story, when you're giving a speech, so people will, 1, believe you more, that people will, 2, fall into your stories, and 3, be captivated by what you're actually saying. So without further ado, here we go. Point number 1 is to turn it around. Turn the tables. So here's the thing. When you're up there and you're giving a speech and you're talking to people, everybody's looking at you. So sometimes you get nervous. This may be a class situation, this could be a business situation, this could be you're on a stage, it doesn't matter. Everybody's looking at you. You have the beads of sweat going down your face, you're kind of nervous, your heart's pounding a little bit because all the attention is focused on you. So what you can do is you can turn the tables. And by turning the tables, you will be building the attention from you and putting it back onto your audience. So one of the things that you can do is asking questions. Ask a question. Ask them, hey, you know, it could be the most obscure thing in the world, or it could be the simplest thing. Let's say watches. You could ask a question, okay, how many of you guys wear watches? Raise your hand. And then people will participate, and some people will raise their hand, and some people won't raise their hand. Then the next thing you do, this is the important part of it, is then you go and you call somebody out. You can call somebody who wears a watch or who doesn't wear a watch. You don't ask them, you don't say, okay, well, who wants to answer this question? Don't do that, because you may have people who won't say anything, because sometimes those people in the audience are also nervous, and then it's kind of embarrassing for you when you ask a question and no one has anything to say. So what you do, you call somebody out. That way you're turning the tables and the attention is going from you to the other person. So after you've asked the question, you said, okay, how many people wear watches? Then pick someone who raised their hand and said that they wore a watch and say, okay, why do you wear a watch? And then maybe you pick someone else who didn't raise their hand at all. And you say, okay, why don't you wear a watch? Now you can do this a few times in the speeches that you're giving. So you don't have to just do it at the beginning. Anytime you're getting nervous, you're starting to get a little bit scared, ask a question, turn the tables. Then the attention is not just focused on you, you're putting it back on the audience, and then it builds a better connection between you and the audience, because it doesn't seem like there's a power struggle. It doesn't seem like you have all the power. It doesn't seem like they have all the power, but you're sharing the power. Point number 2, you want to have eye contact. So here's the thing. When it comes to movies or TV shows that we've ever watched, all the nervous characters do what? They blink a lot and they look all over the place and they can never focus on one thing. Why do we see that? Why do we watch that and realize that person's nervous? Because those are signals and signs that somebody is nervous when they're speaking. It's the same thing if you're doing a public speech and you're there and you're always looking around and you're just blinking a lot, you will seem a lot more nervous compared to if you can keep a steady gaze and you know what you're looking at and who you're talking to. Now, of course, you don't want to go and look at one spot for 10 minutes while you're talking. go ahead, shift and look at different people, but maybe you hold your gaze longer than you normally would. So for example, maybe you hold your gaze instead of for 1 second or 2 seconds when you're constantly looking around, maybe you're holding your gaze from 5 to 10 seconds. Maybe you're finding someone specifically that you're talking to and you're talking to them for a while, then you're shifting and you're talking to someone else on the other side of the room. You don't have to look at every single person. You can maybe pick 3 people that you're bouncing back and forth between. That way, you have strong eye contact. You don't have to worry about who to look at. You pick 3 people when you're there, and you maintain your steady and strong eye contact. That will make you appear much more confident. Point number 3, do not be afraid to move. You can move and you can use your physicality. So here's the thing, when people give presentations, a lot of people will do this. They'll come, they'll go, they'll stand in the middle of the room, and then they'll talk. You especially see this in class situations. People get up, they go to the middle of the room, sometimes they have a paper in front of them, sometimes there's a podium, they're there, and they talk. If you want to move, you can, and you can judge how much you actually want to move. You could be behind the podium could be here, and you can move and you can maybe go back a little bit, maybe you're forward, maybe you're a little bit to the side, and maybe you're to the other side. This will make you appear more confident than if you're just standing here with your arms by your side. Now, there's a degree where, hey, if you're moving too much and you're pacing back and forth, yeah, you're gonna seem a little bit nervous, but you can move a little bit. If you don't move at all, you're nervous. If you move too much, you're nervous. It's like the Goldilocks theory. You have to find that middle point. If you're there and you're behind the podium, you can put your hands on the podium, you can lean on it. You can maybe go to the side a little bit, and you can go back. You know the box that you're within. It's kind of like if you're acting on camera, I can't go all the way over here because I'm gonna be off the screen. I have to stay in this little box. If I don't, you guys won't see me. It's the same thing when you have an audience. If you move too much, too quickly, you will seem nervous. But if you can pace yourself and you can move, maybe you'll be at the side of the podium when you're talking, then you're back to the middle, and maybe you're on the other side, you're gonna appear much more confident, and that's the important thing. Now you could go even further from this and move totally away from the podium. You could be behind the podium if you wanted, and you could start that way, and then you can move and you can walk to one end of the room and you can start talking. Then maybe you go to the other side of the room and you start talking. You can bounce back and forth. Now again, if there's a whole room and you're running back and forth, you're gonna seem nervous. If you go to this side of the room and you're talking, that's fine. Then you can move to this side of the room, but you're not jumping back and forth at some rapid pace, okay? So that's what you guys can do. You guys can have your moments. You can be here, maybe you're here and you're talking for 2 minutes, then maybe you're over here and you're talking for 2 minutes, then maybe you're in the center. But this will make your presentation appear much better because you're gonna appear more confident, and it will be far more interesting, and the audience will also be more engaged with you. Because we've all seen those speeches and those presentations where it's been boring. We don't want it to be boring at all. We want it to be fun where people can enjoy it and have a good time. Those are the best speeches, those are the best presentations that you can give. So I hope you guys like this video. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel so you can be up to date with everything. Give this video a thumbs up if it helped you. Any comments that you guys have, please leave them down in the comment section below. And then we'll have a part 5. So the part 5 is going to be talking about any comments that you guys have had through part 1, 2, 3, or 4. And it's going to be in part 5. That'll be our little Q&A time. Also, if you guys are interested in the 10-hour acting masterclass, that will also be down in the description below in the comment section, as well as the 10 action resume templates. Alrighty, see you guys. Bye-bye.